What is up, guys and girls of YouTube? It is your boy Justin Omoe here, and today I want to go ahead and explain some good stuff about pretty much FL Studio 20.9. I know I'm lagging behind, but I now got to it. This is pretty good for artists. Like, artists takes a great W for this. There's a lot of things that they put into this update that just helps the artist out a lot, the recording side especially. There's some good stuff and there's a couple of bad things, or not bad things, but let's say room for improvement that I would wish they could add in to help even more. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the good parts of, what they did to help artists out. All right, first and foremost, this option right here, external input only, that allows all these effects to be active and you can hear, but when you record, you're not going to have those effects applied, all right? You're not going to have the effects applied. You're not going to have this EQ applied. You're not going to even have this volume knob applied as far as I know. So let me go ahead and give you an example. Yep. And I'm going to record a section here and you'll see. So hit this and let's go ahead and just hit this. This is an audio test. Boom. Bam. Boom. All right. And let's just pause this. And right here, you can see a weak, thin vocal. Well, it's not really weak, but it's the vocal without the effects applied at all, and it is being sent back to input 3. So if I hit play, you're going to hear these effects. This is an audio test. But if we put this into a new insert, you're going to hear this is the dry vocal. This is an audio test. Ain't that cool? So that means you could entirely skip, literally a whole video I made off of how to monitor yourself without hearing or recording those effects on there and this and that. And all those things is destroyed. Like, I could delete that video right now and I get comments on that video still. I could delete that video right now and remake a new one. And yeah, that'll probably be the next thing, I guess. I don't know. Another huge thing that I forgot to mention is the external input only will allow you to record over and have previous tracks that's already in your insert. So what I mean here is if I go here and hit record and arm to record this thing, okay? This is my first test vocal right here. Now, if I were to record over it, let's say artist wants to do like a dub take or perhaps an ad-lib track, a hype track, whatever it is. If we record here, this is our second take right here. Now, normally, it would be post everything right here, post track. So with this external only, we're going to have only that vocal recorded that I said right here. This is the second take, despite the fact that we already have a track sent to Mixer 5, which was the first take. So let me show you what it is. This is our second take right here. This is my first test vocal right here. Isn't that cool, right? And normally, like I said, let me just show you, it would be like this, all right? This is my third track take right here, all right? And if I were to hit play on the first one again, this is my first test, and the third one, this is my third track take right. So that's very, very convenient for those who want to record and leave their tracks in the same insert where their effects are to be able to record seamlessly. Before that, we have to record it and have it routed to something else. Like right here, for example, if it was like this, we would record, and then once the take is done, it should be sent to here, if I'm not mistaken. That's how we used to do it back in the days. And back in the days, I mean like a few weeks ago. So that's very goated of them. So what's cool is they allow different options for you to pretty much change when you record your sound, or when is your sound being processed into the playlist. So you can see external input only means just the microphone. This second option means any other sound that's being routed into that. So let's say we have a sound in insert 6 and it's being routed into there. That is known as the mixer input. When would that be a good idea? I don't really know when that's a good idea. Maybe if you're trying to punch in, but nah, it's weird. We have pulse effects. That means after the effects right here, all these effects in the FX slots. Pulse EQ is after the EQ. Post level and panning is going to be the volume knob, panning knob, and post track is literally everything, even the volume and the panning knob, which is how we used to have it all the time. So no more doing this, taking this off. You can see I'm speaking, you didn't hear me, right? Let me do it again. And yeah, and speaking of cutting myself off, that's another option they put in here, which is the monitor external input. So that is pretty much what you're hearing right now. If I press off, it's going to be off, right? So if I speak again, when it's armed is when this red is active. So it's kind of like a little portable handheld recorder. So if I click this off, you're going to see I'm talking nothing. You're going to hear nothing. Not even the levels is showing. That's cool. And then on is how I have it right now for the sake of the video, of course. So if you don't like to hear yourself, just click that off button. Hell, this is the video right here. Just destroyed the other one immediately. So this is definitely a big win for artists because a lot of us don't like to hear ourselves. A lot of us like to hear ourselves with the auto-tune and all the effects, but don't want the effects recorded into the track. And some of us just don't know any better and have it all recorded anyways. But now we have a quick click option to get ourselves ready in an instant. So that's the first thing that they did. That's a big W on their side. The second thing is going to be, let me go ahead and just pull this out here. All right. So I got these tracks here, for example, right? It's from my friend. Sadly, they're all named Untitled. It is what it is. But another thing is when you're a mixing engineer working with audio, of course, you'll have to drag them and drop them into the playlist. You would have to right click and go to auto name or right click A the whole time. So right click A, right click A, right click A. That's what I used to do or had to do the whole time. That was pretty much the only option when you do it like this. But now you could just double click, right click A, everything selected, everything got renamed to what it's supposed to be according to the name, and we're good. You know? Ain't that easy? So not only do we, save ourselves the time of right clicking A up to 8 times, we can immediately do that in 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks. It doesn't matter if you have 500 tracks. I don't know if 500 is a big number. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't matter if you have 500 tracks. All of them will be renamed if there's a clip, an audio clip, an automation clip, a pattern, anything in there is going to be renamed to its respective name, saving you so much time. And trust me, some of us, we get like 32 tracks, 50, 64 tracks, you name it. On top of that, let's say we want to put auto-tune on all these tracks, of course, except for the beat, right? The way we would want to do this is to, of course, have it into the mixer, which we could just right-click, track mode, audio assign, or audio track, we're assigning it. Let's just click insert number 5, for example. There we go. I know it kind of just renamed everything, didn't it? But if I right-click, auto name, bam. Look, in the mixer, it's renamed accordingly. Everything is set. And look at this, right? I'm going to go to middle click. I'm going to type in... or I'm going to go to Antares. Let's find auto-tune. Oh, wait, hold on. My bad. Before that. Because I didn't want it in that. I hold shift and I click to deselect. And go to auto-tune. Let's go to auto-tune artists. I like that one. I'm going to click and drag it into there. And look at that. Are you sure you want to load 7 plugins at once? Hell yeah. Now this is a time saver. I know all these windows, right? But just F12, F5, what is this? F9? Yeah, 12, 5, 9. That's what you do when you pretty much clean up everything. But look, auto-tune artist is everywhere, except for the beat, of course. Since I'm here, let me see if I could do something. I never tried it, but I'll go ahead and try it. Highlight them all, and let's just do... Why am I even thinking about it? Nope. See? So you see I highlighted these right here, 6 or 7 tracks. Dropped the delay. Nothing happened. Just one plugin. So yeah. So if you have them tracked into the playlist, like how I did, you're going to be able to drag and drop effects that you want And who knows, maybe you can even do like presets or something. Makes me want to try it out, right? I'm going to right click, file. Let's see if this works. Save mixer track state as. Oh, wait, hold on. Don't tell me it just loaded all those. Oh, oh no. I think I fucked up. Um, okay, for some reason it threw it into the master insert instead of all these, so I don't know, maybe that's something they could figure out in the future, perhaps, I don't know. Or maybe I just don't know where it is or how to do it. But this is yet again another way of saving us so much time by being able to upload or not upload to load in a plugin into every different insert that we want instead of doing the tedious clicking this save preset as. Oops, I messed up my click there, and then drag, then do one. Look how long that took. Close it off because it's in my way. Save preset as. See how long this is taking? Tedious. I already clicked more than enough, right? So that yet again is another big W on them. All because they know how to do the highlighting of the playlist. So that's pretty dope. What else did they do? I mean, they did some plugins, like a pitch plugin. And you know, a lot of people especially want to do pitch effects with the vocals. These two things alone really helps. Now, there is some issues with this that I want to show you guys and girls right now. I don't know if it's just me, but let's say, for example, we want these 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say we want these 4 into like insert 15 and on, right? So it's already in a track. Let's go to 15. All right, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So here is 15, right? And let's say I don't want it. I hit Control Z. Control Z. Oh, Control Alt Z now. You see it's doing something there, right? It just put auto-tune back in. So auto-tune and these 3 things here, we did that before we did that auto-assign. So even if we hit Control Z, we kind of undooed the assigning here, the name, but the track is still routed to 15 rather than where it was before, which I guess would be 8, 9, 10, and 11. So that's something that, you know, I guess it's a bug in their system at this point. There's one more thing I want to point out that's cool for us artists, by the way. I forgot to mention this, but you notice how I have these tracks right here? I actually exported them from another project, a previous project. So these are the vocals with the effects activated or applied on it because my friend said he wanted the mixed vocals for the song. So I did that for him. And you can see here in this clip, I pretty much did that just by hitting, was it right? File export and then all playlist tracks from song start, just like that. And all those tracks that are in the playlist got exported to separate names. That saves you a lot of painstaking time if somebody wants the effects applied and sent to them as like split tracks. So let's say they're doing a stem master with someone else, right? This is the best way to be able to process all this and send it over to whoever it is for whatever they want. Otherwise, you're going to have to do the old school method, which is right click, file export, right click, file export, right click, file export. And this is, you know, a godsend if you have these tracks in individual tracks. But let's say you have, for example, 2 of them that are in track 18, right? Or not 18. So 2 of them that are in track 8, right? So these 2 tracks. If you had the split mixer track option, which is, let me see, disk recording. No. See this split mixer track? That'll export whatever these tracks have in the mixer. But let's say there's 2 of them in the playlist as number 8. Remember? That means this track that's number 8 and that track that's number 8 is going to be merged into one track. So this little overlap is going to be cursed forever because you did the split mixer track rather than exporting the playlist tracks. So yeah, The bad part of this, of course, is that it takes very long for the stuff to process. So long, I think I paused the video and just forgot to record the rest of it or something. It takes a while, but it is what it is. And there seems to be some sort of buggy glitch or something that allows the program to open back even after you're minimized or you're in a different window, and it just keeps popping up for every new export. And it showed like some buggy glitch you can see here with the mixer showing as the picture for that window. Weird stuff. Now let's talk about things that they could have addressed. There's two things that I see would have been very nice for them to address, and here it is. Okay, let's say, for example, you want to exclude a certain part. Let's say you just want to cut the breath out, right? So I don't know where a breath is. I'm just going to show you, for example. We cut here and here, whatever, right? And let's say we have a declicking mode on because we do not want a click or a pop in our playlist, right? In our sound, in our vocals. Otherwise, it's going to click, it's going to pop, nobody's going to like it. Let's say we do that, for example, right? So there it is. What if we want to make this signal, this track unique on its own as a sample because you're going to add a detrimental effect or you're going to lower down the vocal or whatever. You just want it on its own, right? I want you to take note of the end of the clips and how they look. And let me go here, see, maybe we can get a good example. I'm going to go to make unique as sample. And we're just going to hit enter here or save. And look at that. This is something that is a big boo-boo because it changed the declicking to literally no bleeding because it created a new file. But even if we do put on the declick to generic, we don't have that fade anymore. Matter of fact, it cut out the spot where we wanted the end point to be and left it like that. So you're going to be forced to trim down the clip even more like that if you want it to have that declicking off. And let me go here for and see, we have to like fade it out even more rather than where it was before, which let me see if I could Control Z my way into that. There you go. Was that it? Oh shit, where'd it go? Yeah. Rather than what we have here, which is the original one, if we do make unique as sample, it's going to keep this clip range, but it's going to turn off the declick. So it's going to be back to this, which is what we've seen just now. And that is a hindrance because we're going to have to trim a little more and we're going to have to put back that declicking on. So if there is a way that they could update this, the homies down at FL Studio, shout out to you all. If there's a way they could make this keep that same declick and that fade when you do make unique as sample, that's going to help out a lot. Otherwise, we're going to have to be doing this, just making unique as sample longer, right? So put it back to original clip, go here, unique as sample, yeah. And then we go ahead and change the declick to generic and then go and drag this to where we wanted it, where we had it, whatever. It doesn't even matter. It's just an example. But that would be the way to do it afterwards, is to make unique as sample for a longer file and then trim it down to where you want it to be. And speaking of that declicking, it's something I addressed in the last video regarding, hey, things you could do. It would have been nice if they do a macros to change all the clips or selected clips for declicking. But they could also make it an option in the options general file, I guess, right? Oh, that's cool language. If they were to put it here, like default declicking option or mode or whatever, and then you could select one from the list that we already got here, the transient and generic and smooth. That would have been nice. That way, anytime you record a track in the file or you drag a audio clip in the file, it would make it default as whatever declicking option you put it for. So example for generic, right? That way, anytime you make a cut in the track, you're never going to be suspected or susceptible to a click or a pop inside of, well, your track. So that's the two things, or three, whatever, how many things that I feel like they could up their game to help artists even more, or anybody working with the audio section of FL Studio rather than just a generator part. Yeah. I love this update a lot. And this is, like I said, the first time opening the version and trying it out. Very good, very cool, nice, high five. There's a couple of bugs, of course, but you know, it'll get better as days go on. It always gets better. It never gets worse. So yeah, it is your boy Justin Omoe. Let me know how you feel about this update. Is there anything you think could be added or changed to help out the artist scene? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll be reading. And yeah, peace. I'm out. And please have yourselves a damn good one.